doing tonight? Y'all doing good? Well, make some noise if you love this state. Make some noise if you support the Second Amendment. Make some noise if you support Kari Lake. Make some noise if you support law enforcement. All right, I'm in a good place right now. I'm in a real good place. But, you know, I'm thankful to God to be able to be here. I'm here for three major reasons. The first one is to represent Jesus Christ. Y'all can give that a round of applause. I honestly and truly believe in Kari Lake. I think she's amazing. She's an authentic woman. We need people who support the Constitution. We need people who are authentic. We don't need none of these fake politicians anymore. And the third reason, and I'm real fired up about it, is that I support the law enforcement officers. That's why I'm here. The men and women who go out and protect and serve, putting their lives on the line, not caring about their own future, but putting the people before themselves. The level of humility that you have to put on that uniform deserves a round of applause. And some people may be wondering, how is this good-looking man up here, used to be a police officer, coming from the background that I came from? But I'm going to give you a little insight. I grew up, I was a Democrat. I believed in all the lies and the fallacies that they sold us, putting us on the plantation. I believed all of that. I hated the police officers. I got arrested when I was 8 years old for smoking marijuana in a vacant house. I mean, they were rough with us. And I built a hatred towards police officers because of that situation. But you know how God worked. God was able to change my mind when I got saved in 2008. I'm going to throw that in there. How many people in here saved? All right, I'm in a real spot. We're gonna start speaking in tongues in a minute. No, I'm just playing. But so, as I got older, I had to get a job at some point after college. I played football at the University of Arizona. I was in the draft. I didn't get drafted. It was very disappointing. But I said, look, I'm a man. And men have to step up and make sure they take care of business. So I applied for everything in the city of Tucson. Nobody called me back except the police department. And it was funny. When I answered the phone, I thought they were going to arrest me or something. I'm like, well, how can I help y'all? But then they said, hey, you applied for the job. Are you still interested? I'm like, all right, we can talk now. I'll show up. But I knew nothing about policing. So I said, man, I better go do a ride-along. How many of you guys in here have done a ride-along? Oh, man, that's a good number. If you want to know anything about policing, if you want your heart rate to get up, do a ride-along. So I went, Officer Sean Payne. Anybody know Officer Sean Payne? I mean, he's a Tucson police officer. He's an amazing man. And so we go through, we get to the place, and we're scrambling. They don't know where it's at. I'm running with them. I'm looking like a homeless man. I got sweatpants on, and I'm running with them to this house. They forced entry, and then they let me see. After they forced entry and went in, they let me kind of peep around the corner, and they saved that young man. And I remember getting back in the car with Officer Sean Payne, and my heart was racing. And he resumed the conversation that we had before that call. And he said, what was you saying about your mama? And I was like, I got a mama? I don't know what's going on right now. We almost died. Why are you asking me about my mama? But it showed me something. And I'll never forget Sean Payne saying, look, I do this every day. And I'm like, how does a man do this every day? Only a hero can do what Officer Sean Payne does. Only a hero will wear the uniform. I remember days where I didn't know if I was going to come home. I didn't know. And my young son was waiting at home for me. I didn't know if I was ever return. But you know what sickens me is the gall of people saying that the profession of policing is racist. What a bunch of BS. I almost cussed, but I want to be saved. What a bunch of crap. You don't get an opportunity to ask the dispatcher, what color skin is this guy that I'm going to save? You don't care. You show up and you perform every single day. And if you don't, you may not come home. Now I got 4 minutes. I normally talk for 2 or 3 hours, but I got 4 minutes. In addition to law enforcement and my passion for policing, My passion is for this country. I am sick and tired of them forcing masks on us, forcing vaccines on us, pushing all of this BS, pronouns and gender identity. There's two genders. If you forget that, go back to school. I'm sick of these fake Republicans running around doing nothing. We need to stand up for our country. We need to stand up for our party. And we need to make sure we keep this country great. I'm sick of the lies. They won't tell you the truth. They lie on media. They lie on police officers. They lie on you, telling you that you're a racist because you stand up for American values. Having the flag flying is not racist. It's patriotic. And if you don't like this country, get your narrow behind out of this country. We have fought too long, too hard together to make this country what it is. I hate when I see people go back to slavery days and they want to make it seem like we're against each other. Listen, Harriet Tubman wasn't going to La La Land. There were white people who loved black people enough and wanted them free, and they worked with Harriet Tubman to free black people. Last time I checked, black people didn't have the opportunity to gain their own freedom based on a vote. The white people that I love so dearly, they are the ones that voted to abolish slavery in this country, to give black people the right to vote in this country. So I don't want to hear nobody try to divide us and pit us against each other. Let these dumb, racist people, whoever they are, let them go in circles in a cornfield somewhere. We're going to stand together as Americans, as one people under God. I got 2 minutes. And that's why I love Kari Lake. Because I said, man, I'm sick of these politicians coming out here. They in office their whole life and they do nothing but talk. I want somebody that's not a career politician. Somebody that's like you and I. I personally want somebody that woke up like I did, that saw that these Democrats are clowns, that most of these people don't care about this country. They care about power. They want to control you. And so I love to have a person that can go into the governor's office and they can represent us well. They can get rid of all this unconstitutional stuff that they're pushing unconstitutional behavior on our children. We need to get rid of it. It's time now. If you want to be a rhino, you got to go. If you want to be in the middle and you don't know if you support Trump or not, you got to go. There's a new day in the Republican Party. And if you don't believe that, you got to go. How many of y'all with me? You got to go. We ain't taking it no more. And I don't want to hear anybody say anything about, the election is rigged. Well, we're going to fight through it. We're going to make sure that the election is fair, but we're going to show up and vote. We're not going to let these people clown us and trick us out of showing up on election day. We'll get this worked out. We'll figure out what happened in 2020. We're going to hold people accountable. But I bet I almost said it. You better show up and you better vote. Nothing will stop us. We have a state to save, we have a country to save, and we have a people to save. So let's get together, let's support Kari Lake, and everybody say it with me, God bless the USA. Thank y'all. I appreciate it.